Hi and welcome to this back to this video series about the primitive plugins inside Unreal Engine. And this is the last video in the series, and we're going to be discussing the primitive tube. So I have it open here. I'm just going to drag it into my level. So when we drag it first, it just looks like a circle, very similar to the primitive circle. And actually most of the properties here are very similar to the circle primitive. The main difference here is that you can set the pivot on the shape. So let's go ahead and just run through the properties over here. So we can set the radius, which is the overall size of our tube. And let's set the extrude as well to something like 100. Let's bring it up a bit more. So there we go. So it's not much of a tube, it's more of a cylinder right now. But we can go ahead and change the inner radius to make it a tube. Let's bring this up even more, let's say 150. And we can then go ahead and change the segments. So if we change the segments, for example, to something like 3 is the minimum, we get the sort of triangular tube, which can be pretty useful. If we set up to 4, we get this sort of square tubing. And we can go ahead and increase the segments until we get to a high level, and this gives us this smooth circular tube inside our level there. So we've discussed the radius, the inner radius, the segments, and extrude. And finally, before we do the bevel, I just want to set some materials here. I'm going to use my example materials on the front. So this is our front face over there. And on the red, I'm going to set it on the bevel. And obviously we don't have a bevel, so let's go ahead and set that up right now. So I'm going to set the bevel to 20. And let's bring this back. Let's bring this down to 1, the bevel segment. So now you can see we get this very sharp bevel across the edges of our cylinder or our tube. So if we bring this up a bit, it starts to smoothen out. 3, 4, and let's set it to 5. I think that's pretty smooth for our shape right now. And then you can obviously go ahead and create materials and set the different materials for the different faces of the shape here. And now you have this 3D shape inside your level inside Unreal. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates.